Shalom, brothers and sisters. All praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. This is an important message to all my subscribers who are subscribed to this channel. If you don't study yourself to be approved by the Most High Yahweh, how you going to end up rightly dividing the word of truth? The word. This is something you have to do. You have to study yourself to be approved unto the Most High. You have to rightly divide the word of truth. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, and continue in them. For in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. So as I study myself to be approved and wake up to the knowledge of the truth, come into the true doctrine of understanding, I share it with those that hear me on this channel. And it's to purify yourselves. Them take and purify thyself with them and be at charges with them. Now, this is talking about when Paul was captured. I mean, not captured. They was after Paul. So they was telling Paul to purify himself with those group of people by shaving his head and making a vow with them of purity, that they may know that he is walking orderly and keeping the law. That was the reason why Paul didn't contradict himself. Paul was trying to show them, yes, he is one that still keeps the law. And he does follow the ways of their fathers. There's a balance of faith and keeping the law. There's a balance to being under Yahushua HaMashiach, under his covenant, which starts with faith. And then you will follow him and do these things here. You will walk as orderly and keep the law by faith. You have to study yourself to be approved, Zion. All of you 12 tribes who happen to be on my channel listening. You can't quite figure out the truth because you're still messing around with Christianity. All of you Gentiles who are here as well from different nations, you can't figure out the truth because you're still dipping and dabbling in what you always known, what you grown up with. Well, you keep messing with those other gods, and that's where you're going to end up with them. You're going to end up with them. Wherever they go, you will follow. If they go into the lake of fire, you will follow them into the lake of fire, period. So the truth was given to us to give to the world. And these heathens created a whole nother religion out of the Most High's holy word and gave you their version of their Christ. And that's the Antichrist, because it takes you away from these laws. As you can see, Paul was keeping them, but they convinced you that Paul did away with them laws, and that the only thing they had to do is say, I am saved, and I got grace, and they are in, according to their own hearts. That's why you have to come out. And if you decide that you don't want to come out, then you're going to go down with that created religion's God, that deity that they worship, the false antichrist that takes you away from the path. Here's the path right here. Paul is telling you the path, but you can't see or hear it. He's proven to them that, no, I haven't come away from the law, statutes, and commandments. I still practice them. But his message was that we're under Hamashiach now, under grace, under faith, and all that will produce the end results is you walking orderly after the commandments of the Most High. Paul never led you away from the law of such commandments because he understood they were a part of the new covenant. Because the Most High said he would put the law, statutes, commandments in your minds and hearts to do them. That's why he say be doers of the word, not hearers only. But Christianity itself says you don't have to do those things. You don't have to do nothing but come to Sunday worship, hear your pastor and say, oh, that was entertaining. That was a feel-good message. Then go home and continue on with your business, acting righteously within your own heart and your own mind, rather than walking orderly by doing this. 2 ingredients is right here in one verse. By faith, you will be able to walk orderly. And by reading the law, you can get understanding and walk in it as well. Walk in the law of the Most High. Therefore, you'll be keeping the ways of the Most High. It's not that many people out here that figure these things out. Even if they hear it, they will turn from it because they want the easy way out. They want to be lied to. They want to heap upon themselves teachers that will teach them lies. And that's what they want. That's what they're going to get. And they're going to follow them all into the pit. And you're going to see it as the days close in and get worse and worse. You're going to see the wicked get wickeder. They're not going to get better. They're going to get worse. You're going to see the wicked stand up with even more pride and arrogance, as you're seeing today. You're seeing a lot of people to return back to their true nature, who they were, who they really are, who their forefathers were. They're returning back to this hateful order. Why? Because the Most High is hardening their hearts, just like he did with Pharaoh. Harden their hearts. And he's going to continue to harden their hearts, and they're going to refuse to let us go around the world, not just here in the United Snakes of America, but around the world, wherever we are. They don't want us to return to our land, because as soon as we do, they know that we will be reigning and ruling over the world. Zion. So if you can't understand this, the walk of the true walk of the Most High is not for you. And the walk of the enemy of the Most High is for you. And you will follow it. Period. And some of you will be left alive, the remnant of all the other nations, to bear witness of the return of Hamashiach. And once he sets up the kingdom, you will have the curses put upon you, and you will have to obey the kingdom of Hamashiach, the kingdom of the Most High. And even after 1,000 years, all you other nations that are out there surrounding the people of the Most High and the Gentiles that came in with us, all of you who are surrounding our land, you still gonna sell out the Most High once Satan is released after the 1,000-year reign of Hamashiach. You still gonna return to the heart of your forefathers, the heart of the enemy of our souls. You still gonna sell the Most High out, even after all that, even all that which you know is true and understand. You're gonna turn on your faith. You're gonna turn and go right back to that which not profit. This is the reason why the Most High called all the other nations as spittle to him, as nothing. They're just tools to use to cleanse and purge the 12 tribes of Yasharal, the house of Yasharal. Now the house of Yasharal includes the 12 tribes. Actually, it's 13 tribes. Include the Levites. Remember, Joseph broke them into 2 tribes. That's how you got 13. But the Levites were the Most Highs, so they wasn't really included as a tribe. They were the keepers of the house of the Most High. So they inhabited all the lands, and all the lands was theirs, but they didn't really have a specific land of Levites, you know. So they are the Most High's real personal inheritance, even though we are the inheritance of the Most High. But within our land, we also had Gentiles that were serving the kingdom, that came in with us as handmaids and servants, and they were serving the kingdom of the Most High. So these same Gentiles are going to be a part of the house of the Most High. When you get a good understanding of what is the house of the Most High, what it comprised of, what it is comprised of, you understand that what happened back then is going to happen again. Just as we came out of Egypt with a great multitude, and they partook in the holiness and righteousness of the covenant, they're going to do it again with Hamashiach at the head of that covenant through his blood. Just as Moses sprinkled the blood on all the people, and the people that was there with them was the mixed multitude of nations that came out with them out of Mizraim. They followed the Most High. By faith they came out, and by faith they shall do it again. And that's why Zion has to get understanding to stop all this nation bashing against all these different nations. And as you can see, even Esau is going to slither his way into the kingdom, but he's going to be sold off to the Sabians, and he's going to go into a different type of servitude with the Sabians, because the Sabians ain't going to be playing with them. And then we're going to have the original lineage of Japheth probably going to build itself back up after Esau's contamination of Japheth's lineage throughout Europe. It's going to be restored, because you could still find some original Greeks. You could tell them because they have more of a tannish color. They have color, the original Greek people. And the original Japhethites had color before they got contaminated with Esau's bloodline thousands of years ago. And you have to do this homework by reading the books of Joshua and Jubilee and getting understanding that Esau started migrating way before you thought. They started migrating into Europe, and they started blending in with the people, and especially all those who were leprosy, that kind of look like them, like that Hebrew who got he turned leprous and his whole family was cursed to be leprous. So he also became what you call a white man. He was a white Hebrew. And so you do actually have Caucasian or white Hebrews out there, the ones that turn lepers, and some of them are what you call clean lepers. So there's a lot of understanding you have to get. You can't just box in all white people, all white Europeans as being Esau. You have to get an understanding of how Esau also comes into people's lineages and he calls himself them. So Esau is in every nation built up as the very people that they took over. And you could see them around the world. Even in, I know a lot of people hear that dummy doctrine that certain persons putting out there that Esau is Saudi Arabia. Esau is not the white man. Well, he's only half right on that one. He's right in the sense that not all white people is of Esau. In the same sense, not all black people is Negroes. You got different races of people, and you have to get an understanding of their history, their culture, their heritage to understand who's who. But it's hard to tell. You know them by their fruits, though. That's the main characteristic. The way to tell who is by their characteristics, who they are. And Esau did blend with Arabia. He blended with Ishmael, the Hamites. He blended with children of Keturah too, and the children of Keturah blended in with the Ishmael. That's how you got Saudi Arabia. See, Saudi Arabia is a blend of the children of Keturah and Ishmael, but you also have Esau's blending with them as well. And you could tell Esau is at the very top over there because he looks Caucasian. Okay? So he is half right, but he's not giving rest, G-Dash, the prophet, he's not giving the rest of the history of the Saudi Arabians. And he's not telling you about the children of Keturah and children of Ishmael in that area who breeded together, and they created their own mixed blended people themselves. So there's a lot of studying thyself to be approved, to be done, to get a well-rounded understanding of what's going on, so you can stop being deceived by all these people out here pushing their own special niche doctrines. And that's why I wanted to have this little conversation with you, to give you a small understanding that if you don't do this, you're going to heap upon yourselves teachers that's going to lead you astray. I'm just here to help you understand that you have to do this, that you have to open the book, that you have to build your own personal relationship with the Most High, that you have to build that special contact between you and Yahusha. You have to be the one to do all these things, not me. I'm here to help each and every one of you who want the help. A lot of people came subscribe to my channel because they thought I was Brother Yerushalayim because of his videos that I post on my channel. Yeah, Brother Yerushalayim was a good teacher in certain areas. He was really good. But there was a lot of areas he was not. And because he was sitting under the kneecaps of someone else, and that's the reason why he fell, because he wasn't all the way under Hamashiach. That's how he fell off, because he lost his first love. The first love is the Most High and his Son. And when you fall off of that, even if you're following the law, such commandments, even if you're doing the feast days, you'll be just as the Pharisees. Unless your righteousness exceeds the Pharisees, then how can you be saved? So even though he had that knowledge and was gifted to teach, and using the gift, he still ended up falling. And everybody out there seeking him as some anointed savior, that's your fault, because there's only one that's anointed to save you. And y'all lifting this man up so high. You know, I posted his videos on my channel as a help to you, not for you to lift him up and worship the man. And there's a lot of worship, man worship going on with him on this channel. And the one I'm bringing you to is Hamashiach, that you may put all that anointed efforts that you're looking for into him, to put all that, what the Most High told you to do is, hear ye my son, come to him, give him the honor and the glory that he deserves. None of us deserve none of that, because we are all sin-filled creatures, you know, created creatures of the Most High. When we're going to share in his glory is when at his return. That's when Zion is going to share in his glory. That's when even the Gentiles are going to share in his glory. The ones that make it in with us into the kingdom of Hamashiach. So even within the camps, they are lifting them people up as anointed, even in the camps. When we were warned not to lift up people as anointed like that. Right here in Matthew. Some of you don't even hear the treasures being poured out, the water flowing out of this vessel. It's a lot of good things flowing out, because a lot of brothers and sisters who are subscribed to me don't subscribe to watching my videos that I put out. So they are missing out, because they're looking for this anointed man to show up. And the Most High is letting you know that the only anointed one is my son. Look right here. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. You're looking for a man. That's why you're falling for all these doctrines. That's why you don't understand the repentant sinner from the unrepentant sinner. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed. That word Christ means anointed. Replace that with anointed. I am anointed. And your eyes will open up and see what Hamashiach was trying to tell you. And shall deceive many. How are they deceiving many? Because they pointing. Number one, you are looking for an anointed man, and you are being deceived. And number two, they are pointing toward this other Christ, this Antichrist, and saying, that is your Christ. This is the one to follow. This is the one that says the laws are done away with. This one is to say, live by your own version of righteousness. This one is saying all you have to do is have grace, and that's it. You don't need the Old Testament no more. Just stay in the new. Paul is now your new Savior. Those are all false people saying, I am anointed. And there's a lot of pastors out there claiming to be apostles, claiming to be a whole lot of things, and they are deceivers. Many of them. When you read this, this is how you are to truly look at this verse. It's not saying that they're going to call themselves Christ, even though we see very, very few people rising up saying, hey, I am the Christ. Follow me. I am him returned in the flesh. You know, that's very, very rare and few and far between. But this is talking about many people going to be deceived, but many false prophets shall arise as well. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. This is tied in with this and this, because it's the very pastors, preachers that's rising up, the very Hebrews who have these camps and organizations that's rising up, claiming to be something they're not. And you're looking at them because they help you wake up. Just because they help you wake up as someone sent by the Most High, as an anointed one. And they're not. They're not. You know them by their fruits. And just as Brother Yerushalayim has fell, it's because his fruits wasn't right with the Most High. Even though he reached up as a Pharisee and gave you good understanding of the scriptures, his righteousness did not exceed the Pharisees, and Satan got to him somehow. And because his heart wasn't right with the Most High. And it's sad that such a good teacher was taken, but he's gone. And with that, brothers and sisters, I'm going to end this important message because I'm working on another video titled The Secret. Oh man, I forgot the title. The Secret That Is Not a Secret. That video there is going to give you a lot more understanding as well as what I'm talking about. What my particular ministry is all about. What servitude the Most High put me under. Give you a better understanding of me and my channel and its purpose, which is to help the lost sheep of the house of Israel wake up, but also those Gentiles that are destined to come in with us to the land of the Most High to be righteous and holy in this land. And we both going to be serving the kingdom of the Most High, but we're going to be serving it in different positions. You're going to be serving the kingdom in righteousness by serving us. We're going to be serving the kingdom in righteousness by serving the Most High directly. More of as his kings and priests. So if you can accept your position, Gentiles, and come out with us like the other Gentiles who came out with us during the first Exodus, if you accept your position, accept who we are, you can come out with us during the second Exodus and live with us, with the Most High, with the Son of the Most High in our land. And it's going to be a glorious land, brothers and sisters. When you see all those beautiful trees, the Most High is going to sprout up all those fruits and veggies, and we may not even eat any more animals, but there's still going to be animal sacrifices being accepted on the altar from the Gentiles around the land of the Most High, because it's their turn to be purged out. Our final purging is done. It's going to be done when Hamashiach returns. Judgment starts at the house of the Most High, which starts with us first, and then the Gentiles next. That's why all the other nations will be purged out next. And we will see where their heart lies, whether they would follow the Most High by faith and walk in the law, statutes, commandments of all the nations that's circling us. But us who make it back into the land with the Gentiles, we're gonna be righteous and holy. The Most High is not letting no one else come through his land that's unwilling to walk in his ways. So we who come in with Gentiles, they already gonna be prepared. And that's another secret that Zion hasn't learned yet. They're listening to all these other teachers and preachers and they're heaping upon themselves wickedness and lies. When these Gentiles that come in, they are preparing. They are being prepared by the Most High to come in to serve the kingdom. Just as he's preparing you to serve the kingdom, he's preparing them for their job. And they're going to love it. It's not going to be all us whipping them and being mean and ugly like a lot of these Hebrews are putting it. No, they're going to be as brothers in our land. Even though they're serving, we're going to treat them as brothers. They're going to be as brothers. And we're going to love one another. And just as Abraham loved his servant, how did I forget his name? Eliphaz, I think that was his name. Could be wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about. His number one servant, who was as a son to him. So much so that Eliphaz thought that he would inherit all that Abraham had, because Abraham didn't have a son yet. And then when Isaac came, well, we know that Ishmael was born before Isaac. And then Ishmael thought he was going to get the full inheritance and everything till Isaac was born, and then Isaac got the full inheritance. But Eliphaz, he was as a son to him. He was a servant of Abraham. And in the same sense, this is how you're going to come in, Gentiles. There was a reason why Ishmael would not come in as heirs. See, we inherit the kingdom because that was promised to us, the 12 tribes. You're going to partake in that fatness of that root and come in through us because you were given to us. Just as we were created to serve the Most High as kings and priests of the earth, you were created to serve the kingdom. And that's the way you're going to come in your heart. But you're not going to come in no other way. You're coming in as a bondman. See, Ishmael was a bondman, and Isaac was the free man. You understand? There is an order to the Most High, whether you like it or not. And because you've been deceived by these many pastors and preachers within Christianity and these Hebrews who are waking up and starting their ministries prematurely without getting a full understanding, you are heaping yourselves these false prophets and false ministers who have been teaching you lies and deception, things that's not written out in the scriptures. And they use the scriptures that's written out to twist your mind and to believe something else, turning the word of the Most High into a lie. Who has changed the word into a lie? It's these crooked, corrupt leaders who think much of themselves. And I thank the Most High for keeping me humble and meek. And even if 2 people on here just hears the message, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. Even if it's 1, I bear fruit. Even if all these people that subscribe to me don't watch the videos, that's fine with me. The few that is getting this, they are the ones I'm after. Whether you are of Zion, whether you are of the other nations, Gentile nations. Gentiles, you were made to serve just like us. You were made to serve the kingdom of the Most High. The Most High has a kingdom. He has a high king. He has a high priest. But he also has kings and priests. He has a king over kings. He has a master over masters. We just happen to be those kings and masters that will be over you. That's the truth, whether you like it or not. The kingdom will be the kingdom whether you're there or not. And if you keep being that way with the Most High, He's going to turn you over to that which does not profit, and you will go in where they go. You will go into the lake of fire for unbelief, for turning on the Most High's holy plan. Somebody has to be the kingdom citizens. Somebody has to be the royal house of the Most High. Somebody has to be the king, the high king, and the high priest. And of course, there's only one creator that has to be the one creator. You can't replace him with someone else, even with yourselves. And that's what you see these heathens doing, trying to be their own master creators, their own kings and priests on the earth, their own wicked rulers on the earth. They are trying to live forever under their ways and orders. And the Most High says, come out of us. Get away from all that wickedness, all this living forever, all this merging with machine. Get away from all of that. And with that, I'm going to say shalom. Like, comment, share.